Okay, tonight's video is to help you review what it means to summarize and get us ready to do some in-class activities so that you'll be ready to retake and do the second attempt of your summary. So as it says, the objective is that you'll use this to review what it takes to write a good summary and be prepared for the class activities. So to start out with, let's look at what the standard is that we're reaching for. It's a Common Core standard. All the numbers aren't necessarily important, but what it says is that students will be able to provide an objective summary of the text. So let's just review what that means. Something that is objective means that it's without opinion, that as the writer of the summary, you do not make any indication of any sort of opinion. You are simply stating the facts, whether you agree or whether you disagree. So you kind of leave all emotion out of it. Of course, you are writing a summary, which is just to review the main idea and the key details of a text. And a text can be any article or story that you're asked to summarize. So there is our standard, what we're working towards, being able to provide an objective summary of the text. So what sort of summary skills does that mean? What does it mean to summarize? We've talked about this, but let's review. First of all, to be able to write a good summary is that you can identify and explain the main idea for the whole text or the whole article. Second, when you write it down, you are only, after you've identified the main idea, you are only going to include the most important pieces of information. So big ideas, yes. Same words, no. You don't want to include those minor details. You want to make sure all of those important details are actually included so that somebody reading that gets the flavor of what's going on, but then can go to the actual article to get all of the details. It's also really important that the information is accurate. What you put in your summary should not mislead the reader in any way. When they read your summary and they read the text and they're thinking, I wasn't expecting quite this, then you know that you haven't done your job in being accurate. Finally, you want to make sure that you are using your own words. Because you are the writer of the summary, the words that you use need to be your own, although the ideas that you are including are coming from the article. Okay, so let's go over the writing skills that you need. Anytime you are writing, these things should always be there in some way. Because if you don't write it well, then your reader isn't going to be able to understand your summary. So first of all, you always want a clear topic sentence. You're going to name it, give the title of the article, verb it, title and author, excuse me. Verb it, give it a good strong verb, and then that big picture. What is the main idea? You'll also want to include helpful transitions, things that connect the sentences together, rather connect the ideas in the sentences together while leaving the sentences separate. And a very good, clear concluding sentence that doesn't include any opinion. This is the easiest place for opinion to slip in, and as soon as you have opinion in that concluding sentence, then it is no longer objective. Finally, the conventions. You need to make sure that you have read it. If you're in a place where you can read it out loud, that is the best way to do it. Make sure that you've used any resources you have, like paperwriter.com, to be able to help you check spelling and punctuation. But you are the writer, you are responsible for it to be clean and without any of those kinds of errors. Okay, let's look at an example really quickly. What I'm going to ask you to do is, as I read this or after I read it, you can go back and I want you to find the words and phrases that help the ideas flow together throughout the paragraph. I will read it through, then I'll give you a chance to pause and highlight, and then we'll go over what things you might highlight. Okay, picture this presented by Achieve 3000 describes one person's experience with becoming a graphic designer and what it takes to work as one. The graphic designer explains that artistic skill and creativity, along with a bachelor's degree and an internship, led him to work at the magazine where he designs pages for the magazine. Graphic designers can also work for other publishing companies or companies that create something visual like websites or video games. Besides artistic skill and creativity, graphic designers also need to keep up to date with the latest trends and leading software, be able to work well with people, and be self-starters. Competition for jobs in this field can be tough, but someone could earn anywhere from $40,000 to $62,000 a year. This article shows that while it takes hard work to become a graphic designer, creative people who've got the skills can succeed. Okay, pause right now and go back and look for what words and phrases in each of the body sentences help connect the ideas together. Okay, so you should have done that little activity. Let's look at some possibilities. The first body sentence starts with the graphic designer, which is just a natural transition from the topic sentence because that's what you're talking about. The second sentence includes the word also. So graphic designers can also work for other publishing companies, showing that this is furthering the idea from the previous sentence. The next sentence begins with, besides artistic skill and creativity, comma, and then adds additional information. Now the next sentence is a little bit tricky. It's hard to find it's hard to recognize a transition, but there is one in here. The word that really provides that connection or transition is the word this. When you say competition for the jobs in this field, you are automatically referring back to something previous in the paragraph, which connects it together. All right, your turn. While this particular paragraph is not necessarily a perfect summary of the article, it will allow you to compare and contrast your paragraph with this one. So you will need to open up your Google Docs, find your summary paragraph for Picture This, and compare and contrast on your note page. And here's some things that you can look for. What ideas did you include that this one includes as well? What ideas did you not include that this summary does? How similar are the topic sentences and concluding sentences? Those are the kinds of things you'll want to include. Also, be prepared to share what suggestions you would give this person as far as improving it and what things they did well. Okay, well, that's all. Don't forget to submit your notes to Schoology, and as soon as your notes are in, go ahead and complete the whisk.